From prime to the pros, I was built for this. Now I'm running the dog pound, can't miss. They said I fold, now I'm throwing like 6. Browns got a future, I came with a gift. Pocket so calm, heart full of fight. Vision on gold, wrist full of ice. Number 12 on the jersey, but never in rank. Put the city on my back like gas in the tank. QB1 in the land, now we up. She ain't cold, but the kid too tough. She with the dad's playing each play. Browns got the truth, believe what I say. Perfect timing. Dog pound. Every snap, every drive is precision and grace. I ain't come to play safe. I came to replace. Talk that talk, but my game too loud. Turn up the dog pound, make prime proud. Legacy rich, but I double the grind. Diamonds on time, still humble in mind. They ain't ready for the QB with swag. With a gold AP and a Cleveland flag. QB1 in the land, now we up. Sleep and cold, but the kid too tough. Shade you with the dance, blazing each play. Bros got the truth, believe what I say. From bolder nights to NFL dreams, now I'm leading men, not just teams. They tried to doubt, tried to shade, tried.
Back. We back.
Yo.
We back. And I'm telling y'all, bro, this is getting out of hand, man. I know it's been 2 months after the draft, pushing 2 months after the draft. But this is still a topic of discussion, man. What happened with Shedeur on draft night to make him fall to the 5th round, and them talking about the Giants coming out with all that information talking about Shedeur did bad, bombed the interview, all that type stuff. Bruh, we all know my last video when I talked about the interview tapes about Shedeur did not get a playbook. The Giants lied. We can see in this tape right here when I analyzed it that Jackson Dart did not have a playbook at all. Now, I've been wanting to tell y'all this information, but it done came out why the Steelers didn't draft Shedeur. And then even a word called sandbagging that they claiming Shedeur did in the other draft interviews with other teams. So I'm saying, like, something, we done gained more information since then because Deion came out and spoke. But at the same time, we still want to see the tape. We still want to see the tape. Now, I don't know if it ever going to get leaked or not. I don't know if it's going to get leaked or not. But what I'm saying is, the tapes, the New York Giants have the tape. They definitely have the tape. It's confirmation that they had the tape. Shedeur didn't do nothing. It's what they saying he did. But right here on my screen, what I got, I don't know if y'all can see that. I might have to zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a little bit more. Let's see if my camera in the way up. Let me make me a little smaller. Put me right there. All right, bet. So now, I had to go to my old reliable. ChatGPT. ChatGPT been giving me more correct information than these humans out here. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, ChatGPT, what more information can you find about Shedeur in these draft interviews. Then ChatGPT gonna say, it's really not too much. It's really not too much new that I can find, but big but, hit that like button. But I asked it what other teams said. I'm gonna tell you what these mixed reaction right here. So we already know about the New York Giants, but the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin reported Sanders' talent, but hesitated to draft him due to previous challenges with quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, leading to more cautious approach. Las Vegas Raiders. Sanders met with Raiders at the NFL scouting combine and expressed enthusiasm about potentially joining the team. His familiarity with the West Coast offense and quick release was noted positive, though concerns about his ceiling remained. These were the other team coming now. Steelers and the Raiders. We already know what happened with the Giants. And the thing about that is, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Then we get to what I didn't know. This the new information. I won't get to the tapes in a minute. This the new information. They allegedly saying that Shedeur sandbag interviews on purpose. Now, I know y'all wondering what sandbag is. So basically, Shedeur, in short terms, Shedeur bombed the interview, did bad in the interview on purpose. Reports emerged suggesting that Sanders may have deliberately underperformed an interview with teams he wasn't interested in joining. NFL insider Jonathan Jones noted that Sanders did not give his all during some meetings, which rubbed some teams the wrong way. Additionally, an anonymous NFL quarterbacks coach described Sanders as brash and arrogant during pre-draft interviews, while draft analyst Todd McShay reported that some teams felt Sanders lacked a professional approach in these meetings, in these settings. Now, like I told y'all before, these people are human, just like me and you, and we have emotions. Now, if you ask me a question and I answer it in a certain tone, or I don't answer the way you thought I should answer, then you get offended. It's not that I'm offending you, but my tone and the way I answer the question may offend you because you didn't expect me to answer like that. So what I'm saying is, if somebody coming at you, the Giants, this anonymous NFL quarterback coach, if they coming at you, attacking you, and you answer them in a calm way, as far as, I don't think I'm the guy for you. I don't think I'm a good fit for you. If you answer that type of way, they like, huh? What? Because this is exactly what they said Shedeur said. They said Shedeur said that I'm probably not a good fit for you. Now, you take that how you want to. Now, me, knowing this kid, this dude, this guy, this man, Shedeur, for these past 3 years, I've been following Colorado and Jackson State, and now to the NFL, I don't see him answering them questions in a tone that's aggressive or upset. I don't see that. He don't give me that vibe that he'll be yelling at a coach or a coordinator or assistant coach or assistant that's worked for an NFL team. He'll be talking to him any kind of way crazy because Deion, first of all, didn't allow that. Because he wasn't even talking crazy to Deion. And let alone a job interview, let alone an NFL job interview, let alone that you want to get drafted to one of these teams. Why would you sandbag the interview? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Now, I know people are like, well, we still on this topic. We need to be still on the topic so it won't happen again. Because if you don't talk about it, it's going to happen again. And just not this. A lot of stuff in the world that we not talking about, that we need to be talking about, because it keep happening again because we not talking about it. So what I'm saying is, this need to be talked about. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one giving y'all the real deal. Holyfield, not lying, just plying. All my country folk know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, this is ridiculous, man. Cause ain't nowhere in the world you gonna tell me. Ain't nowhere in the world you gonna tell me it wasn't no tape. When it is footage. It is footage, and the Giants do have it. It is footage, and the Giants do have it. I had to look in the camera. It is footage of the draft interview, and the Giants have it. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me say it again. There is draft interview footage of Shedeur Sanders and the New York Giants. Share this video. Like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about that money, man. You already know. Look at this right here. As of now, there's no publicly available official footage of Shedeur Sanders' pre-draft interview with the New York Giants. Reports suggest that the Giants possess the video of the meeting, but a release has been threatened with legal action by both Sanders' family and the Cleveland Browns, indicating the content may be unflattering. Unflattering for who? That's what I want to know. Unflattering for Shedeur or unflattering for the Giants? Now, you could probably say that it's unflattering for Shedeur because you see it's a legal action by both the Sanders family and the Cleveland Browns. But why would the Cleveland Browns not want it released? Because they drafted him, or because they about to trade him? You know what I'm saying? And they don't want a bad image on Shedeur if they trying to get rid of him. Get what I'm saying? We ain't never gonna know exactly what happened in that interview unless Shedeur come out and say it, Dion come out and say it, completely exactly what happened, but I don't think Dion was there. But if Shedeur come out and say it, or that head coach of the New York Giants come straight out and say that Shedeur did this, and that, but I still won't believe him. I still want to see tape. That's what I said. I don't know what the Browns need to sue for. The only reason why I said I think the Browns suing, so get it out now, GG. Only reason why I think the Browns suing for is because they might be trying to get rid of Shedeur. That's the only logical reason I could think of, unless y'all can come up with something else. But in my head, they don't want the tape released, so it won't make Shedeur look bad, and they can't get rid of him. Because if they trying to trade Shedeur in this time period we in now, from mini camp all the way to training camp, preseason game, if they trying to trade Shedeur, we can't have this type video out. We can't have this destroy his character and image before we get rid of him. That's my logical answer. That's just me. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. They scared to release it, but they saying it's legal action between the Sanders family and the Cleveland Browns, indicating that the content may be unflattering. But, like I said, unflattering for who? But the way it's worded, you can suggest that it's unflattering for Shedeur and right here, and the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns drafted Shedeur, and Shedeur, it'd be bad for his image. Appreciate you, D. I've been talking about, go watch my last video, my last live, and I got a video up. And I'm going to continue talking about it because somebody need to talk about it. Because ain't nobody talking about it. And the only reason why people talking about it is when they saying stuff like this.
I want to say people should have listened to me. Like I was saying for 2 months that like
You've been saying he's dropped.
most of the league does not look at him like he's a first-round talent. Now I will say this. I think the fall out of the first 2 rounds was about talent and performance. I think the fall after that was about everything else.
Then you become Tebow.
Because I think at that point, like when you get to the 3rd round, now we're talking about for some teams players that are depth or they're developmental, and those players generally have to develop in the shadows. And this was the case. I mean, we've seen a zillion cases of it. But
did you see what he did yesterday?
Your backup quarterback, they want you to blend in with the furniture. It's why Jay Cutler didn't have a second life as a player. It's why Cam Newton didn't have a second life as a player. It's why, again, like why I think Tim Tebow, or at least part of the reason why Tim Tebow and Colin Kaepernick, after it had been deemed they are no longer starters, had trouble finding jobs. It's so like I think there is that. And then there's the way he handled the process, which he handled the process like he was a top 5 lock. Like, for example, Abdul Carter only met with 4 teams.
Now listen, he's saying Shedeur handled it like he a top 5 lock. He will project it to be top 3. Top 5, top 10 at the least. So why you not gonna handle it in that such a way? That's why Dion came out and said there is certain teams we don't want to go to. Because he was projected a top 10 pick. And it ain't because of his skill that he fell. You don't throw for 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and have the same stats as the number 1 draft pick, Cam Ward, to the Tennessee Titans, and you telling me it's because of the skill that he dropped. No, it's not because of the skill. It's because y'all didn't know how to control him. He too big of a celebrity. He got too much status already. He black, he handsome, no diddy, but you get what I'm saying? He's smart, intelligent. He got a daddy that been in the league that's a Hall of Famer and goes down as probably the greatest player to ever play in the NFL, and a double sport athlete that was good. Let me take that back. Great at both of the sports he played. Now he in the coaching era, tearing it up, changing the whole dynamic. Y'all don't know how to control that. Plus he got a brand of his own that's separate from the NFL. And the NFL can't make no money off of that brand. That's why he fell in the draft. It ain't because of his talent. Because you can't tell me you turn on the tape. You can't tell me with no offensive line, no running game, you still throw for 4,000 yards and 37 touchdowns. It nothing. Cam Ward don't do nothing better than Shedeur. If you look at it, Cam Ward wasn't even in the conversation of being a top as the number 1 pick last year. Cam Ward wasn't nowhere in that conversation as being a top number 1 draft pick to the Tennessee Titans or whoever had the number 1 pick last year. It was no talk of Cam Ward. Cam Ward was at Washington State. He wasn't getting that much coverage. The only time he started getting on in coverage when he went to Miami. Burr played 5 years in college, and he finally started getting recognized in Miami as being, I'm talking about a high draft pick. I ain't talking about in college football. I'm talking about it as a high draft pick, only in Miami. Come on now. This ain't talking about the skill. You not talking about this boy's skill, bro. You can't tell. I'm looking at the numbers. And you can't tell me Tyler Show got drafted 2nd round and only played 1 full season and passed for 3,000 yards at Louisville. Man, been in college football 7 years, and you gonna tell me his skill is better than Shedeur? No way. No way. Look at the numbers. That's how I know him in my head. Cause I done looked at him so much. Cause I've been on my live. Y'all need to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the money, man. Y'all need to put this video out right now, man. Y'all need to go share this video right now. Go tell your friend, Joe Blow down the street, Jimmy Chew, all them over there that's on the corner. Tell them to come to Money Man You Already Know page right now. We just hit 50K last night, and I need 50,000 likes on this video. Let's go. We still doing the 50K giveaway, man. We still doing the 50K giveaway, man. I'm giving away to one lucky person a Shedeur Sanders jersey. I need y'all to like the video, subscribe, share, tell your friend about the Money Man You Already Know. Comment down below. Prime time giveaway. Type in Shedeur 12 and you will be entered into the giveaway. You gotta subscribe to the channel, you gotta like the video, and you gotta share it. That's all I'm asking. And if you want to donate super chat, you're definitely gonna be in there. I'm gonna go back for you, Ron. Let me go back for you, Ron. The Giants had the video, but the Sanders family and Cleveland Browns are threatening to take legal action if it's released. It is a video.
Cam Ward only met with one team, really, as far as a visit and everything else. I think he visited the Browns too, but it was very limited who he visited with. If you know you're going that high, you can do that. If you're anyone else, Zoe, you are in this position. You are auditioning for all 32.
I went to the combine for 7 days.
Yeah.
And I threw it to the defense for 4, and that's how I went up.
Yeah.
I wasn't ranked very high. But then you throw darts for 4 days to defensive backs and linebackers, and like, holy crap, this kid's got a gun.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, but that's the thing. Is like, so,
the more you can do.
Shedeur was handling it like he was a top 5 pick. And that was never the case.
He was top five rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what he was saying.
But then the problem was the dad
So,
2
like,
weeks before, like, well, we're gonna put him where we think we should put him.
So, so then you get to Saturday, and it's like you're in the 4th round, and it's like there are all these teams that either heard the bad stories for the other teams, or that you refused to meet with, or that had a bad experience with you personally, and it's like now the pool
Or have no need for a quarterback.
Right,
There's,
so
there's
like,
teams that don't have need one.
Now like the amount of teams that are willing to do it has narrowed. Plus, by the way, like if you were going to bring him in based on his reputation, wouldn't you have wanted to sit down with him first if you're going to introduce that into your quarterback room or into your locker room
And find out what he's all about.
But he
Find out his
wasn't.
personality.
But he wasn't handling his process that way. So like that's why.
How many teams did he meet with?
I don't know what the total number, but I can tell you stories of teams like that were. I mean,
Colin Coward had the one on the Giants.
Dayball and the Giants story seems to be leaking all over the place if you pay attention.
Well, I'll give you another one, but the Giants one, like, so there was they give players an install, and there are mistakes intentionally put in the install, and he didn't catch them and got called on it, and it didn't go well after that. There was another team that he sat down with.
What do you mean it didn't go well after that? So
he was pissed that they
did that to him.
They did that to
he
him.
counter confronted
The
them.
same thing they do to every other quarterback prospect. They did that to him. They slide in a mistake to see if you catch it.
Right. And so
Because you're the quarterback.
But he didn't take it as a correction. He took it as like he got
it's
pissed
just
off.
and it's like so here's another one. So another one was, he throws a bad interception, and like it was a deep throw early in the game, and he comes back and they go in the meeting, they show the interception, and they say, what happened here? Well, I like to get into a rhythm earlier in the game, and they get into it over that, and his conclusion is, well, maybe I'm not a fit for you. And it's like,
Look here. I know I probably got some other skin folk on here, but I want you to take a picture of what you see up here. I'm about to break it down now. Big boy over here, bald head, right here, you gonna say they do that to every quarterback. No, they don't. No, they don't. Look. Look right here. No, they don't.
The number one's being
No, they don't. They don't do that to every quarterback. No, they do not. So you can't tell me that they do it to everybody. When I clearly got the video, Jackson Dart pulling out a blank notebook. They didn't give him a playbook with installs in it, with errors. No, you can't tell me they do this to every quarterback. And obviously, you don't even look like you played football. But obviously, you wasn't there. I wasn't there. But the video I'm looking at that they did put out, that is not a playbook. That's clearly not a playbook. That is a blank notebook that he about to take notes down in. That's all I'm saying. I'm done with that video. Then we get over here to the Steelers. I don't know what in the world. Where's that? I don't know what in the world. The Jackson Dart tape showing Dart is answering a multiple choice test, meaning that he was giving the answer first. Exactly. That's what I said in my video. I done debunked all that, bro. I broke that down. Them doing it, the Jort. Exactly. That's what I said. And they cut it and they were editing it. If you go watch my video, they cut and edited that video. Because I ain't playing that one. I'm talking about something else on that one. But it's the same scenario, same situation. But they were cutting and editing that and when he was giving the answers. I need to know if he got it right or wrong. But from what the Giants general manager said when they called Jackson Dart, when they drafted him, he said he aced the interview. I need to see what he got wrong and what he got right. Because obviously, in that tape, on that video, y'all, like you supposed to do as a coach, you teach the player your lingo, your plays. He don't know that coming in. It'd have been different if he was already in your system before and you quizzing him on what he remember from your system. But he was never been in your system. He don't know your lingo. He don't know your protection calls. He don't know how you call this route, that route, everything. You can't tell me you going to put errors on an install and expect me to catch it if I don't know your lingo. I don't know your verbiage. I don't know none of your plays. Because red in the Giants don't mean red at Colorado. Get what I'm saying? It can be two different things, but the same name. Come on now. This is ridiculous. The Steelers, they probably going to have their first losing season in a long time. Just because they was waiting on Aaron Rodgers. Where it makes no sense at all. Why you was waiting on this man, like he going to lead y'all to Super. This ain't Tom Brady. I don't care how good y'all think Aaron Rodgers is. This ain't not Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers only done won one Super Bowl. Not 6, not 7, not 4, not 3. 1. Steelers. He is not about to put y'all. He is not about to lead y'all to the Super Bowl. Plus he 42, 41. 43. Whatever. He old. He's not leading y'all to the Super Bowl. Listen to this.
You know, I've obviously known his father for a long time. My first time meeting him, and to be quite honest with you, we didn't talk a whole lot about my relationship with his father. It was a normal pre-draft visit to spend time with a young man, to talk ball, to get to know him as an individual, to get to see how he processes and sees the game and how he articulates his football experience. From that standpoint, it was a very normal visit and a very productive one.
Did anything stand out in that meeting about him that maybe you didn't see coming or didn't know?
You know, I think the things that stood out were evident in his video. There's a toughness there that doesn't get talked about enough. There's a competitive spirit there that doesn't get talked about enough. I know he's very talented and made a lot of plays for his university and his team. But the intangible qualities displayed on tape were impressive to me.
You've obviously dealt with a number of guys who are sons of former NFL greats, but I don't think you've ever had one who was
It's coach while he was in college. What's that dynamic like for you?
You know, I haven't explored it. It's something obviously that he's going to have to deal with in terms of moving on beyond being coached by his father. But you know, professional football is just that, professional football. I don't imagine it'll be a challenge for him. There are a lot more significant, you know, tangible challenges.
If y'all ever seen that clip, Shedeur was getting interviewed by, I think it was Travis Kelce or somebody. No, it was Max Crosby, the DN for the Las Vegas Raiders. And he said Shedeur was talking like he was a lock to get drafted by the Steelers at 21. Or if the Steelers were going to even move up to get him. Because he said, they asked the question, who was the best receiver duo in the NFL that he liked? And he said, quarterback receiver duo in the NFL, he said he liked. He said whoever the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, throwing the Pickens and Metcalf, because Pickens was still on the team at the time. But you just seen what Mike Tomlin said about Shedeur. Then this article come out, and I've been wanting to show y'all this right here. A $305 million quarterback derailed Mike Tomlin's hope of landing Shedeur Sanders as Steelers stars grow sick of Aaron Rodgers' weight. Now, what $305 million quarterback would they be talking about that's on the Steelers? Y'all take a guess. Just take a guess. Take a wild guess. Why in the world does Russell Wilson have to do with Shedeur Sanders getting drafted to the Steelers? I think people there would tell you that Russell Wilson thing undermined so many things in the last month of the season, and that a lot of that building really wanted them to go back to Justin Fields. And it was something where Mike Tomlin was kind of, again, all on his own on that one. And I think it's part of the reason why Tomlin liked Shedeur going into the draft. But I don't think Tomlin wanted to press the button again at quarterback after what happened with Russell at the end of the year last year. What in the world does Russell Wilson have to do with you drafting Shedeur when you need a quarterback? Then you had two quarterbacks that you let go that you could have kept Justin Fields. To me, it ain't even about them. It ain't even about Russell Wilson. It ain't about Justin Fields. It ain't about Shedeur. Y'all know what it's about. What color this is? Right. You know what it's about. They didn't want another black quarterback. I hate that. I don't care what Mike Tomlin, a black head coach, though. Mike Tomlin don't own the team. Mike Tomlin ain't the GM. Mike Tomlin is the head coach. They got to coach the players. The GM and the owner won't own the team. And then the GM still ain't got that much power because the owner got the final say. And exactly what you said, Kate. The owner wanted Rodgers. And what color is Rodgers? And what color is Russell Wilson? What color is Justin Fields? What color is Shedeur Sanders? What color is Mike Tomlin? I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. It ain't about race. Whatever, man. This whole country of the United States built on race. Because another race suppressed another race for monetary gain and to build this country up, and one race getting all the money and the other one ain't. $40 million slave. I don't want to hear none of that. How Russell Wilson got anything to do with Shedeur? Them two different people, two different players. Two different ages. They ain't got nothing to do with it. You didn't want to draft that boy because you didn't want another black quarterback. The Giants didn't want Shedeur because they don't draft black quarterbacks. The only reason why Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston there is because they bridge. Because you see who they drafted. You see what quarterback they drafted? Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are bridge quarterbacks. They are not there for long term. Don't be surprised if Russell Wilson get cut and Jameis Winston get cut after this season. Hell, during the season. You cannot tell me this is American history on replay. I said it in my video and watch Shedeur fail. I said it in that video. Can't tell me it ain't about no skin color. No. Big girl got a good eye, don't she? GG. This video right here.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter
Y'all
your
go watch this
address
video.
and get a 360-degree satellite view of your home.
In the history of NFL draft drops, let me tell you, the Shedeur
Never.
Sanders free fall might take the cake.
A black man, confident, educated, focused, and not afraid to speak up. That's what really scared them. See, in America, it's about control, power, and money. I'm gonna leave it right there. Y'all got finna watch that video, man. It's about control, power, and the money. You go look up all these NFL owners. Go look them up. What skin color they is, how old they is. It's not one, not even one majority black owner for an NFL team or minority owner. Not one other skin color owner in the league. I don't know what Jacksonville head owner is, but he might well be included with them. Okay, he ain't black. Kaepernick. The man that did the same thing, and guess what's gonna happen next year? Or whenever Arch Manning come out, guess what's gonna happen? Granddaddy gonna step in and say, nope, we not going to the Browns. Nope. We not going to the Browns. Nope. Caleb Williams daddy did it. That came out. Caleb Williams daddy did the same thing Deion did. But guess what? Caleb Williams daddy ain't Deion. Caleb Williams ain't Shedeur. Caleb Williams ain't Deion's son. Caleb Williams daddy ain't Deion. So guess what? It got swept under the rug. We ain't hear about it till a whole year later. After Caleb Williams got drafted #1, I don't care about, should Caleb Williams better than Shedeur? Is he? Just because he won the Heisman? I can't tell. Look like Jaden Daniels better than Caleb Williams to me. Appreciate you, man. I'll read it in a minute. Hold on. It looked like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels better than Caleb Williams right now to me. But like I said, we ain't going to be able to tell until 2 to 3 years later how these boys, even some of the ones that's just in their second, third year right now, quarterbacks I'm talking about, we ain't going to know how good they are until 3 to 4 years later. And you see it with Kenny Pickett. Yeah, Cole Prime could have did things better, but I refuse to believe that Prime didn't prepare his kids for the future. The Giants don't draft black quarterback anyway, so that comes back to reality. Yep. It sure do. You can't tell me. That's why I tell you, man, y'all gotta, people in general gotta think with their own brain, bro. You gotta read the research for yourself. Quit looking at the news, quit reading articles or looking at headlines and not even reading the article. Quit just taking somebody, go find 2-3 sources to compare. Hell, ask ChatGPT. I believe them more than humans. At least they're going to be a little accurate. At least they're going to be a little accurate. Because look, where that? Right here. Y'all favorite person, Mary Kay. Why Shedeur Sanders' early hype train is off the rails. Why you think Mary Kay telling y'all to go to the source, quit believing everything else, and go follow my articles. Go read my articles. Go follow people that's actually in the building. Why you think she doing that? First month, $5. First month, $10. Day pass, $5. Guess who getting paid off of Shedeur? The same ones that don't like him. And they covering the team that need a quarterback. Come on now. Browns organized team activity have been open to the media for 2 practices, and Shedeur Sanders' hype train is already off the rails. Thanks in part to quarterback stats tracking, doing voluntary OTA with no pads, no Myles Garrett. Got to put these in here. No pads, no Myles Garrett, and very few apples-to-apples comparison. Some in the national media have already either called the quarterback competition in Shedeur's favor or reported that he's got a bona fide chance to be the opening day starter. Granted, Sanders has looked good in the 2 open practices with plenty of completions, his trademark accuracy, an excellent touch on the ball, and some nice touchdown passes. But get what? You got to pay to read the rest. That's why Mary Kay wants you to go to the sources. That's why she wants you to read her articles. Because she paying for it. Where the other article at? I got so many tabs. Oh, here it is right here. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I'm just going to read y'all the beginning. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Look at this. Sanders earns praise after miscue at Browns. Guess what the miscue is? This how ridiculous this getting. So Shedeur Sanders got off on the wrong foot at Cleveland Brown practice this week, but recovered well enough to earn a strong prediction for his future. Look at this. Look what Mary Kay said. Sanders slipped and fell on the opening play of the team's 11-on-11 drills, but bounced back to throw a completion to undrafted rookie Gage. Sanders had another shaky moment when he threw a would-be touchdown to Caden Davis before it was revealed that the receiver foot was out of bounds in the end zone. You see what I'm talking about? This what he up against, man. This is we as fans of Shedeur is up against. You telling me he had a miscue because he slipped and fell and threw a touchdown pass, but wasn't called a touchdown because y'all got instant replay in an OTA. We in practice. Of course you gonna slip and fall. Of course you gonna have mess up. That's what practice for. Like, what are we getting at? For real? Like, do y'all not want to win? You said you drafted this boy because you felt sorry for him. What? Who says that? The Browns act like they done. I ain't even gonna say the Browns. Well, it might be the Browns because they ain't want to do it anyway. They acting like they done won 3 Super Bowl back-to-back. They about to win 4 in a row. Y'all is not Eagles. Y'all is not Kansas City. Y'all is not Golden State back in their prime. What? Y'all franchise is known for losing. Y'all the laughing stock of the NFL, and you up here talking about miscues because he slipped and fell and threw a touchdown pass that y'all called back because we in OTA practice got instant replay? Like, what? Bruh, y'all for real? But we don't need to talk about it. Yeah, we do. This boy shouldn't even be on this team. And if he should have been on the team, he should have been number 2 and number 3 pick. Should have had $46 million. Not 4.6, 46. Meanwhile, he got to compete with this trash dude right here, Kenny Pickett. He need to pick his bags and go down there to New Orleans. That's what he need to do. Ridiculous, man. You competing with this dude. Don't even get me started on Kenny Pickett. Been in the league 3 years. You got more interceptions than you got touchdowns. Joe Flacco done threw for 1,300 less yards. There's 1,300 yards for y'all, the ones that don't know what 1,300 is. Less yards than Kenny Pickett done threw in his whole career. Kenny Pickett, let me go back. Joe Flacco has thrown the last 2 years on 2 different teams as the backup quarterback, 1,300 less yards than Kenny Pickett than thrown in his whole career. Not the last 2 years. Kenny Pickett's whole football career. Joe Flacco, the backup quarterback on 2 different teams, have thrown 1,300 less yards than Kenny Pickett has thrown his whole career, his whole existence in the NFL. I don't want to hear about this man competing for QB1. I don't want to hear it. This man has thrown more interceptions than he has thrown touchdowns. Guess what his numbers compare to? Guess who Kenny Pickett numbers compare to? He's a quarterback still on Cleveland Browns roster. We got one making 2.6, another one making 230 million. His numbers is the same as Deshaun Watson the last 3 years. Why in the world you want to put, you got a $230 million quarterback. I guess y'all just want to go get a cheaper one for 2.6 and get the same production. That's what I guess you wanted to do. You ain't even going to get that boy a chance. Shedeur ain't even going to get a chance. I'm going to tell you right now, we need to start looking at year 2 already. We need to start looking at year 2 for Shedeur already. Is he still going to be on the Browns or he going to get traded to somewhere else? Because I guarantee you, they talking about they ain't going to play this boy till week 10. They talking about they ain't going to play him till week 10. They talking about the schedule so murderous, the schedule so gruesome. They in y'all division. You got to play them twice a year, every year. It ain't going to get no easier. So guess what you got to do? You got to man up, be a man, and draft some good players because you need to know how to win. Unless you don't want to win, stay where you at. You going to tell me the schedule gruesome in the beginning. It's the NFL. It ain't going to be no, oh, well, we're going to go play a FC. We're going to pay an FCS school that come beat up on. We're going to go pay one of them so they can come to us and we beat up on them and get a dub. This the NFL. Come on. Put the boy in the fire. Don't make no sense. What you protecting them for? What you protecting them from? You ain't even want them. Talking about he wasn't no top draft pick. But these ain't even the early projection right here on these mock drafts. They still got Shedeur going 21, not 5th round. These ain't even the earliest projections. Man, them early ones had Shedeur going number 2 and number 3. And at worst, 9 to the Saints. And that was later. I don't want to hear that. Look at all these. Man, get out of here, bro. All these mock drafts right here. You talking about, I don't know why he thought he was going top. Get out of here, bro. Look at it. They had Shedeur going 6 to the Raiders. These people work for NFL. What they just putting out stuff for if it ain't true? Why they just putting it out? Appreciate it. I sincerely pray that the Brown cut Shedeur and he goes somewhere better for him. Cleveland doesn't deserve him to win. They don't need to cut him. Because if they cut him, it's going to look bad for Shedeur. They need to trade him. They're going to try to get some value out on him. He the most talked about quarterback. That's why y'all in here. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. They probably deleted all them early mock drafts. And I'm telling you, Shedeur was top 5. Then he became top 10. No, I don't want to hear that. Talking about, I don't know why he knew that. That's why, whatever you want to say, Deion shouldn't have said it. I don't care. Deion can say whatever he want to say. That's his son. If you going to say don't draft him, don't draft him. He can say that. Well, you going to punish the boy because his dad has said something. He not the one you drafted. And some fool on here, I had what he talking about Dion gonna end up gonna be calling the GM and the coach, talking about why he ain't playing. What? When Dion ever did something like that to give you that even notion that he was gonna do something like that? Get out of here, bro. These dudes. These people that get paid that's on TV. Meanwhile, me and you and us all on this live, we sitting here struggling because the president want to be doing some crazy stuff, but meanwhile they on TV talking blasphemy, foolery, using Stephen A. word. Get mad because a black man standing up for his son. You know why? You know why? Let me tell y'all some history real quick. Y'all gonna get it all with me today. Hit that like button. You got 343 people in here. I got 100 likes. Hit that like button. You got to get his history today. Look here. It the thing back 400 years ago. John Lynch, whatever his name was, his last name was Lynch. That's where they got lynching from. He was the one that designed that buck breaking or whatever, how to train a slave. So you pull, and then it got ingrained in the black community. I don't know why, but it just did. You pull the father from the family. You take him away from the family. Willie Lynch, there you go. You take the father away from the family. Then you can raise the child however you want to because he can't look up to the dad. He can't look up to the father. Then you go take the most biggest slave, buffest, confident, the one everybody look up to. You go find him out the bunch and you humiliate him in front of everybody. So now, if you can do it to him, I know he can do it to me. Then you put fear in everybody on that plantation. That's how that man always been operating, always in fear. When you always in fear, you do some crazy stuff. And you do some stuff, they're going to send you straight to the H. Come on now. Y'all don't, this why these kids messed up, because they don't know black history. It ain't being taught in school. They don't know nothing. I was in the school system. I know they don't know nothing. It been a couple years ago when I was on my cousin's house, little girl in there. They got they got slaves on the TV, whatever they were watching. Something just came up. She was like, "Ain't that civil rights?" I was like, "Get out of here." Slavery. She said, "Ain't that civil rights?" $40 million slaves. It's a book. You can say the NFL a plantation. You can say any job a plantation. If you working there and getting treated unfairly, what you think it is? I don't care what skin color they is. What I'm saying is, the reason why Shedeur failed is not because of his talent. It's because he cannot be controlled. It's always been the same mentality. It ain't never changed. They just did it in a different way. Us as a black community, we so stuck on slavery that we don't even know that all this, what they got going on now, all these taxes, all this jail stuff, all this tricking, trying to make her pay more for this, pay more for that. It's the same thing. They just wrapped it up different. That's what I'm saying, man. We got to get, I done told my family that too. They don't listen neither. They don't listen neither. We got to get to the point where we learn and gain knowledge for ourselves. Not through quit strolling on Instagram, YouTube on here, Facebook, Quit looking at funny cat videos. Quit looking at people fighting. I do it sometimes too, but I'm about to tell you what I also do. Quit looking at people fighting. Quit looking at these reality TV shows that don't mean nothing. They put these black women and these black men on these reality TV shows to keep up drama and fighting when they supposed to be professional, and you ain't learning nothing from it. You ain't learning nothing. It's destroying your brain. But I guarantee you ain't got none of these. I guarantee you ain't got none of these. I guarantee you ain't got none of these. You ain't got none of these. You probably ain't got no life insurance. Guarantee you ain't got none of these. 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 That's just a few that I got sitting right here. Then the main one you need to be in. The main you would need to be in right here. Then the main you would need to be in. Don't know nothing. I'm telling you, man, they don't want, no, man. Y'all need to hit that like button, man. We on fire. Where I'm at.
Limited in practice, so he's going to have to get in there, probably do some. I think that Shedeur Sanders is actually going to end up earning the job, but it's going to be tough because he's a fifth-round pick, and you know reps are going to be very limited in practice. So he's going to have to get in there, probably do some extra work. But the way I look at it, I mean, Flacco's the old dude. He's the guy that at least is familiar with what he can do. So he's the vet. He'll go in there and probably be QB1 at first, and then let the two youngsters battle it out. Right? Kenny Pickett, I think we all know who he is, so, okay, you can throw him in the mix if you want to, but I think it really boils down to who has more juice, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, and I think it's Shedeur. I've thought that since day one. I'm surprised that he dropped to round 5, but you know how that goes, so there you go. I think that the Browns are in a really good situation with their quarterbacks.
Reaction been to those comments? You're not the only reporter, by the way, who covers the Browns on a regular basis who has written or said this in the last 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I haven't heard from anybody, actually. We didn't get together yesterday. There was no media availability at the Browns, and I don't mean to disparage anyone. I just really believe in what I said, that the media are not doing Shedeur, well, they're doing him a disservice by overinflating where he's at right now. He's a developmental quarterback, just like Dylan Gabriel is. He's not a franchise quarterback. And I think the Browns recognize that and are, taking their time and teaching them the way of their offense. Overinflating expectations are just not good. I think it's fine to like him and to hope for him to be the guy and to get excited when you see him. I just take offense to the reporting that he's clearly going to be the number one starter or he's clearly the top backup when he clearly is not.
The only thing I like about what that Tony dude said, because we already know he a hater too. We know he a hater too. Right. None of them are franchise quarterback. We don't know what, I'm going to be honest. We don't know what Shedeur going to be. We don't know what Shedeur going to be. All we know is we know what he can do. Now, it's a difference between seeing the quarterback do it in college and seeing the quarterback do it in NFL. Because a lot of them quarterbacks they did in college can't do it in NFL. But what we know is we think he can do it in the NFL because how he was raised, who he been around, and what we done seen. But if you're not getting the opportunity, then you ain't never gonna know anyway. But what he's saying is, that's about the only thing I agree with him. Talking about, yeah, he need to take it slow. That's why I say Joe Flacco probably gonna start the season. I'm not pushing for the Shedeur to start, but I would like him to start. But I'm not saying he got to start right away. What I'm saying is, they shouldn't be saying he shouldn't start because the schedule. No, don't say the schedule hard because you got to play these teams twice a year. Now, if you would think he not ready and you still developing him, then no, don't play him. But if you're not even giving him an opportunity to show you, because he not running with the ones from what we done seen, then how you gonna say he not ready if you ain't even gave him a chance? That's the other thing. Now, next week, I need y'all to tune back in Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think they're going to go, I ain't going to be able to go live when they live. I hate it, though. I think they're going practice in the afternoon. So I'm going to be gone already. But I'm probably going to go live before. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they got mini camp. Because it's going to be content after content, videos after videos, everything coming out next week. So I need y'all to come back. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friend about that money man you already know. Kenny Pickett got a ring for sitting on the bench. Dylan needs motive. From what they saying, he more pro ready.
Against those teams' number one defenses. And then I would think that in the third game against the Rams, we would see the Browns legit opening game start that game. I would think that the first two games we will see Gabriel and Sanders a lot. And I don't even know if we'll see Flacco and Pickett in the games. We'll see them in the practices against those teams' number one defenses. And then I would think that in the third game against the Rams, we would see the Browns legit opening game starter.
Now, where you heard that from? Because I heard the opposite. I heard the opposite. I heard Dylan Gabriel don't look like a pro. See what I'm talking about? I don't know who to believe. So there's so much different stuff coming out. You don't know who to believe.
Shedeur would start game one. Aaron this morning said he could see a way that Shedeur would start game one. You and I both agree that there's probably no way he can do that.
Well, I wouldn't say no way, but I don't see what that path is until he gets on the field.
Well, if he's not getting any chances with the ones, how the hell is he going to win a job?
Well, they're the experts. They must not think he's ready for that.
Aaron this morning said.
Oh, they knew him. Oh, nice little play fake. Had that DN suck in right there. Right on that run, that fake. Under center. Yeah, that was a good play there. Trying to see who was out there. Bro, I don't care who he with. If he executing the plays, he executing the play.
On the turbo, throw the punch now. Head up.
Who are you working with? Flacco, he looked like he was hurt when he was running. Flacco look hurt running, bro. They ain't gonna say who threw that ball. Yeah, he accurate. They ain't gonna show who threw that ball though. They're right here. Shedeur Sanders had been so good that reports are coming in that coaches are telling the defense where offensive play is coming and Shedeur is still beating them. It's insane. I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. What y'all think? Andrew Barrett.
For a deal that big and to kind of
They're like, you talking about the trade. I need you to talk about Shedeur.
existing relationship really before the spring. And for a deal that big and to kind of keep it under wraps for that long, you know, typically there has to be a really strong trust between the general managers and the organizations. And that's not easy to build in a short period of time. You know, from my perspective, like, okay, James, the youngest GM in the league, young family, like when we talked, like just his value system, how he communicated, his intelligence. It was one of those things where like, how have I not met this guy before? You know, one of those situations. And everybody who knew him spoke glowing of him. And I really can't commend him and the Jaguars enough for just, he's right. Not all trades go that smoothly from a communication and operational standpoint, and really just even from a trustworthiness standpoint. So it's really cool. Like, you know, we both joked, hopefully we'll be making a lot of deals over the next few years and doing this for a long time. But this first one was certainly a pleasure.
Gosh, it was easy also along the way, Andrew. I think I joked with you about, keeping it quiet, right? That's not always the easiest thing to do. And I was like, Andrew, I think we're kind of in luck because nobody really actually has my number, right? It's not like I can talk to many people because it's an unknown caller, right?
Well, trust me, that has changed. Now that you're in the chair.
Yeah, that luxury doesn't last much longer, right?
Absolutely. Now, before we start,
I don't want you talking about the trade. I need you talking about Shedeur. That means y'all had that trade going on for months, like the Lakers trading for Luka. Man, I don't know. I say better guys get it. Shedeur been sacked. That ain't nothing new. He can deal with that. Yeah, dealt with that 2 years in Colorado. That ain't nothing.
Hey, man, he looks like the best quarterback here. He's young. You got to learn the experience part. Fifth rounder, so we got to make him earn it. But the truth is, he's the best quarterback. And this is not just words from coaches or scouts over there. This is for some players, and I mean key players that actually going to play this year and put some real production up. You got a first-round quarterback in the 5th round. That's a blessing. So I think they should take advantage of it. Everybody I'm hearing over here talking to, they saying that look like he's the best quarterback. If he plays well, it should be a no-brainer. The whispers over there is basically, hey, man, he looks like the best quarterback here. He's young. You got to learn the experience part. 5th rounder, so we got to make him earn it. But the truth is, he's the best quarterback. And this is not just words from coaches or scouts over there. This is for some players, and I mean key players that actually going to play this year and put some real production up. You got a first-round quarterback in the 5th round. That's a blessing. So
the existing relationship really before the spring.
Hey, I want y'all to still temper your expectations because this foolery. Just like they trying to fool you that Shedeur was a bad person. Don't fall for this foolery until it actually happens. Don't fall for it. I love Shay that said that I love it. But until we actually see it, hey, it's just hearsay. Because I'm telling you, man, these folk, when you're trying to flip the narrative back to positive, and then when Shedeur don't start, they're going to start talking bad about him again. They're gonna build him up, and then boom. When he don't start, they're going to tear him back down.
Need practice time, but Shedeur has impressed from the beginning. It really is going to be who picks up the playbook. So you got two young kids who need practice time, but Shedeur has impressed from the beginning. It really is going to be who picks up the playbook quicker and who is more at ease with this offense.
Earning the trust of your teammates, grasping the playbook, and I tell you, once you get out there on that football field and you ball out, and your teammates see that you're playing well and you're making plays, they're going to talk enough, so much so where the coach is going to have to make that decision to put you as a starting quarterback.
So you got two young kids who need practice.
They ain't going to have to make no decision because they're going to try to not do it. They're going to try to not do it. They're going to try everything in their power not to play this boy. That's why I said, temper your expectations about him, what they saying on TV. I'm telling you.
So the first thing is, we know that Shedeur has doors. Thank you.
It was live today.
So the first thing is, we know that Shedeur hasn't gone against ones. And by the way, that was a 1 second clip that they cut. And Dylan did struggle. And by the way, in that very same period, after playing against the ones, he went over to the field where Shedeur was and participated there. And it took him a second to get going over there as well. That was not, he did not come right over to the other side of the field and start lighting it up at all. So I'm talking about his first session throwing the football. His first session throwing the football against the ones, he definitely struggled. Denzel Ward was there. But in that same period, he then goes to the other field and he goes incomplete, incomplete, complete, incomplete, complete. So 2 for 5 on the same field that Shedeur was on, where Shedeur on that field went complete, 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 incomplete. So went 6 for 7. Same field. So he's not acknowledging that part of it. The other thing is, and then he would go on and talk about the staff.
I might need to go look at that whole thing.
Thank you.
Let me see, can I find that old? I don't know where it is. I know where it's at. Because I was on it. But I wasn't listening to it. Here it is right here. Oh, no,
Poor Jesus and Kaiser.
But this is.
They were all in the mix. Because we're going to Canada.
That ain't the same dude.
Back on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
It was out here earlier. Hold on. They just took it off. See, that one I don't like. They be doing that, man. They be doing lives and then they'll take it off and chop it up in the video that don't make no sense. Was it there right here 2 days ago? Where was it? No. That was today.
We lacked Shedeur's ability to.
That was today. Here it is right here. 1 day ago.
He will join us on Monday.
So the next
point. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's fun.
I don't think our go. This is what you do.
Like.
Macho Man.
Randy Savage.
Y'all hit that like where I'm finding it.
Some bottles. I'm like, all this. She like to sleep.
Yeah, the pen in the hand.
Full picture, and they were like, "Come on down,
come on down."
I'll try to like.
Yeah.
Dad, I have I feel like
use gold.
By the way, in the
room.
I don't know. The mayor of Berea, speaker, and then Whitney Haslam Johnson, line between
they ain't talking nothing about the Browns,
million that was asked for. He's like, they're still going to get like. Yeah, I was two things. Just about
6.2. 6 of the 7 rookies drafted have now been signed. Just
it's 7-on-7 red zone, or is it team red zone? Because that's where the touch on a little disingenuous to say that Dylan only struggled because he was playing his. Is it the completion percentage? I have a spreadsheet here where I will turn around. Same 5.
Yep.
He definitely struggled. Lighting it, anticipated that.
Dylan faced the ones. Why is Shedeur not played against the ones?
Right.
Okay. Go.
Times
Okay.
go against it. Ready to play against their number 1 defense.
Did they say that?
Well, he hasn't.
Tony, you've only seen 2 practices.
Well, I've seen Gabriel both times go against it.
Okay,
For
maybe
one
that's
period.
a question.
One period.
Maybe that'd be a good question for Kevin to just go, Kevin, we've seen Dylan face the ones. Why is Shedeur not played against the ones? Right. Okay.
all right, there you go.
All right.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So the first thing is, we know that Shedeur hasn't gone against ones. And by the way, that was a 1-second clip that they cut. And Dylan did struggle. And by the way, in that very same period, after playing against the ones, he went over to the field where Shedeur was and participated there. And it took him a second to get going over there as well. That was not, he did not come right over to the other side of the field and start lighting it up at all. So I'm talking about his first session throwing the football. His first session throwing the football against the ones, he definitely struggled. Denzel Ward was there. But in that same period, he then goes to the other field, and he goes incomplete, incomplete, complete, incomplete, complete. So 2 for 5 on the same field that Shedeur was on, where Shedeur on that field went complete, 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 incomplete. So went 6 for 7. Same field. So he's not acknowledging that part of it. The other thing is, and then he would go on and talk about the stats and all that, and I agree with that. Now, I have a spreadsheet here where I will turn around and show to you that I have for every practice that has happened right now. I have quarterback attempts, completions, plus.
Look, the thing is, Shedeur ain't getting no first team reps, man. Every day they say he's struggling. What I'm trying to tell you, this is my other scenario. They pumping up Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett because they're going to try to get rid of one of them. Mainly probably Kenny Pickett. Because like I told y'all, that's been here. If you ain't been here, hit that like button, subscribe so you won't miss nothing else. But I said that the reason why they drafted Dylan Gabriel is because he was going to be the 3rd string quarterback. They didn't expect Dylan Gabriel to be in the conversation for the quarterback 1. The only reason why Dylan Gabriel in the conversation is because they drafted Shedeur. And Shedeur get all this attention because he was a projected first round draft pick, and he fell to the 5th round. And the Browns picked him up. That's the only reason why Dylan Gabriel in the conversation to be the starter. Other than that, Dylan Gabriel probably would have went undrafted.
Drops, completion percentage, because somebody drops it, touchdowns, interceptions, and then they have the order in which they went, inclusive of the defense that they went against.
Yep.
Is it the 1s? Is it the 2s? And I did that by A's and B's. Okay? I also have the benefit of watching every single practice, so I know what things are happening even on the days not open to media. But that's not what that comment was about, nor was any of it. So
you got to ask, like, we need to know if Shedeur getting 1 reps. Like, that don't make no sense. He gatekeeping. Like I was saying, he gatekeeping then. If he know all the information, he out there every day, he need to be telling us what on this show. They are here talking about Marianne cooking cookies. Going to the bakery down the street buying a loaf of bread. We need to hear about the Browns and Shedeur.
Number one, I understand who they're playing against. And in that session, I think it's a little disingenuous to say that Dylan only struggled because he was playing against ones. And I said he was a little rattled. He went over there. He was still a little rattled, and then he settled in as the day went on. Shedeur was.
But if your quarterback getting rattled that easy, how you expect him to even compete in the game? Shedeur poised completely. You live for the moments. That pressure you can't get in that pressure and mess up. You gotta be built for that pressure. If you want that boy to compete for the starting spot, he can't be easing his way into it. Not in no game. Especially when you on the Browns. No matter how good your defense is, you still gonna have to put up points.
Was only on that field, and I don't think anybody's tried to make any illusions that Shedeur Sanders was playing against the ones, because that we have not seen that on days open to the media yet. I also break it down because I think those stats are a little bit.
Hey, bro, you said, Calvin, you said that, boy. If you perfect with the threes, how do you think you going to be with the ones? If you running the same exact plays. And they running the route better.
Tough by, is it 7-on-7? Is it team? Is it 7-on-7 red zone? Or is it team red zone? Because that's where the touchdowns and all those things get skewed. You get more reps in the red zone, you're going to have more touchdowns most likely than if you do not. So number one, I take it's a little bit. What the irony of that is what he was saying was disingenuous for me, which was, by the way, a very quick comment and was more broad. We weren't going into, well, in this session. But in that very same session, Gabriel left that field, went to the other field, and was 2 for 5. So he was a little off. He settled in, as I said, as the day went on and played better. Shedeur made beautiful throws on that field where he got the opportunities to play in this practice. Now, he said freak show reporting.
Yes.
He said basically overhyping him to the point where it's a detriment to him, right?
Mhm.
Would you say that's kind of like the gist
Yeah, I
of
think
what
that's the
I
that's
was
the
being lumped
synopsis.
into?
I think you.
But how is it overhyping? Is the media the one that overhyping them? Like, you work for the media. You doing it also. So you included in the overhyping that you say you overhyping. Like, it don't make no sense, bro. And to be honest, I don't even know how Shedeur became the topic of discussion the way he is right now. It just, the only thing I can think of is people so emotionally attached that from what they heard and what they believe from what everybody else said, because of Colorado, you know, how Deion left Jackson State, came to Colorado, and prime time effect, the prime effect up there in Boulder, then it done trickled down to Shedeur because they started talking about him entering the draft and then how he arrogant and all that. So people attach their emotions to all of that. Now you got them folk that didn't like Colorado hating on Shedeur personally, and then all that stuff come out that made them more invested. Because that's why you got these haters and these trolls that come in these lives on here leaving comments. Why are you leaving a comment if you don't like this dude? Why are you watching my live? Why are you on my video? I'm getting paid off you anyway. I appreciate you for being here. But I'm just asking the question why. That's all I'm saying.
You were. Yes,
Okay.
I think that's
all right. So let's play.
The media is the real
I
circuit.
appreciate that he listened to one sentence from yesterday's program. Let's play now with a video. A pretty thorough from Tuesday's show. Take a listen. He has played a lot of football. He did have, somebody who was an NFL offensive coordinator, an NFL head coach as his offensive coordinator, and the final offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur. But I think that his step up in terms of, let's call it calling plays in the huddle, being under center, some of the things that maybe he's going to be asked to do at this level with all the checks that happen at the line of scrimmage, with all of the pre-snap recognition that's got to happen, and then post-snap, especially if you're turning your back to defense. I think that there are things to learning the position that maybe he is certainly behind Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, and Flacco's.
I disagree with that because ain't nowhere in the world you gonna tell me this boy is getting mentored by the GOAT. They don't even want to mention that. How you gonna tell me he far behind Flacco and get now one of them, even on the level Tom Brady is, and that's who your mentor is, and you can't tell me Tom Brady ain't told him. You can't tell me Tom Brady ain't told him. And then the offensive coordinator, I know they said it was Tuesday, but yesterday the offensive coordinator came out and said Shedeur doing good with calling the plays.
A veteran. Pickett's, started 25 games in the National Football League. And then Dillon Gabriel, who played a lot more at all major college programs. I think people sometimes forget that, yes, he turned it around at Jackson State, and he turned it around here. And I do think that he has probably the highest ceiling. I think, though.
He said he turned around here. He didn't say Colorado.
That his on-ramp is a little longer than that of Dillon Gabriel's to get ready for all the things that it takes to be an NFL quarterback. Not talking about talent. Take talent out of it. He is supremely talented.
Yep.
So I think.
Hold on. So you telling me just because Dylan Gabriel went to D1 schools, big time D1 school, he more ready than Shedeur just because he went to all D1 schools? That makes no sense. That makes no sense to me. Because last time I checked, football is football no matter where you at. Now, your coordinator teach you the plays and what you know. Ain't too much gonna change from how you learn the plays. If you learn the plays a certain way, then you gonna learn them plays a certain way no matter where you at. It's up to the coach to make sure you know the plays and make sure you prepare the play. All the player can do is learn the plays, execute the plays. So what is you talking about? Just because Dylan Gabriel went to all D1, big D1 schools, he more pro-ready than Shedeur. That don't make him more pro-ready. That make him a journeyman. He just bounced around. That don't make him more pro-ready. Especially if Shedeur had an NFL coach, a head coach, is the offensive coordinator, and his mentor is Tom Brady. Get this out of here, bro.
I think that people need to have, and there's a lot of people kind of, I think, in the national media who are really, like, rushing Shedeur. And I can see it. Sounds like I've done a couple of national interviews where they asked me about Shedeur as though he's the only quarterback here. And I talk about his ball placement and that it is elite, but that, he's still very much a work in progress as an NFL quarterback. So I think that that's something people need to have some patience with that. And you look at the...
But that's what I was saying about it's going to take 2 to 3 years before we actually know what we going to have. Now, he can light it up like Jaden Daniels, but can Jaden Daniels do the same thing this year? That's going to be the question. And then can Jaden Daniels do the same thing in year 3? Can Jaden Daniels do the same thing in year 4? Can Jaden Daniels do the same thing his whole career? That's the question. You can have lightning in a bottle with RG3 for one rookie year, and then the rest of his career, he trash. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Can he be consistent? The lead NFL is about consistency. Can you consistently play at a high level at your position? That's why I said we might need to go ahead and start looking at year 2. Because year 1, he's going to be limited. And I ain't talking about limited because he's a rookie. I'm talking about limited because the Cleveland Browns. And they don't believe in him. That's why I think he's going to be limited. See what I'm talking about? These haters coming in here, these trolls. That's exactly what I'm talking about. How Pickett is a better NFL quarterback now? How? Just because he's been in the league 3 years? He ain't did nothing. Yeah, you do real good playing with all them 4 and 5 stars. I'm telling you, Shedeur would have went on Miami, Oregon. He would have went on them team, putting up them numbers. He would have been the first overall pick. Put Shedeur on any of them teams and take away 10 sacks. No, take away 20 sacks. Because Cam Ward got sacked 20 sometime. Take away 20 sacks. Put Shedeur on Miami or Oregon and take away 20 sacks. And I bet you that boy throw for about damn near 4,200, 4,300 yards. I'm telling you, got Jimmy drafted.
It's like I'm on the Daily Show.
Jimmy
back
trash.
when Jon Stewart had it.
I mean, that was me fighting through allergies, cold, whatever, delivering. Literally the whole point of what I was saying there was have some patience around Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
And laid out actual reasons for why you need to have patience around Shedeur Sanders. So to take the one thing that I said there,
which quite honestly, all he said was he layers the ball, and that Gabriel
throws
struggled.
a beautiful ball, which he did on both fields in his first session.
The other thing I would say is later on in that conversation, we mentioned that Dylan got snaps with the ones. I remember it because it happened yesterday, and I was here. That mentioned that Dylan Gabriel had snaps with the ones and Shedeur did not.
Correct.
And we talked about that. In fact, I want to say we even closed that saying with something along the lines of when he does, then that'll be something.
That's the noteworthy. How the reps change and evolve is what is going to be more noteworthy than necessarily what it is right now. But I think that on this program, listen, it's long understood how much I liked watching Shedeur Sanders on tape at Colorado. And how a great many people, we've talked about it, in that same clip from yesterday, if we had gone back even further, we were talking about how everybody...
Yeah, you right, K-Hine. That's why y'all on here. That's why they on here. That's why they talking about it. That's why Tony, we know who Tony is. That's why we know who Mary Kate is. That's why we looking at the Cleveland Browns. Let them just with the draft Dylan Gabriel. Ain't nobody talking about the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, they always gonna defend themselves. You don't need to hear Payton because Shedeur got his own. But that's what I'm telling you. That's what they're going to do. They ain't going to throw him out there. For whatever reason, they ain't going to throw him out there. I think Joe Flacco going to be the starter of the season, start the season. Then, I don't know what week Shedeur going to start. Going to get up in there. But eventually, Shedeur going to get up in there. I don't know what week. But I know Joe Flacco probably going to start the season. And they're going to trade Kenny Pickett. What I'm 100% correct on. But then what I'm saying, when he get a chance and he do good, it can't be a Justin Fields situation. You can't pull him out just because the vet coming back. You got to let him keep playing. That's what I'm saying. Shedeur can run the ball, bro. Well, that was C. Anthony late. We already know that. Bro, I ain't know why Dylan Gabriel tape. Maybe I need to go ahead and watch it. Yeah, hit that like button. Let go. Nah, I don't think Gabriel going to take over, man. They didn't draft Gabriel to be the starter or to even compete for the job. They drafted him to be a third rounder. I mean, a third string.
You watched him only on tape. Cosell, Brugler, those who were down on him relative to others, still had him in the early second round. So there were things beyond tape that explained, we talked about what happened with the draft process, but why he has that longer on-ramp. And I basically told them to you right there. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that there is, first of all, I take my job very seriously. I am not a reporter. I am a Browns employee. Mm-hmm. I am thrilled to be the color analyst for the Cleveland Browns and all of that. I get privy to a great many things. That's why people, I think, who watch the show and pay attention to the scores probably are more informed than others. I love Shedeur. I would love to see Shedeur succeed and become the starting quarterback of the Browns. I think it's going to take a while for him to get there, and I think all this talk about it is so premature. And I think when you chart OTAs, for example, and you don't do the breakdowns of the way that I chart my own OTAs on here, which is, okay, who was he playing against? That's a column on my spreadsheet. We don't see that. Was it 7-on-7? Was it a team? Was it red zone? Was it not? None of those things are there. It's just here's how many passes they threw, how many were completed, touchdown, interception.
Yeah.
Drops aren't factored in. None of those things. And I tried to I put notes. For example, on one of the first days by
they doing it on purpose though.
Said he had the throw of the day, which was a layered throw. It was the throw of the day. I said, but a lot of his completions were checkdowns. So you have to be able to paint an entire picture about these things. But I think that everybody understands.
Look here. I get it. This what I don't like about people when they talk about, oh, he just threw check down passes. Is he moving the chains? Last time I checked, a first down ain't but 10 yards. If I throw 2 5-yard check downs, guess what? That's a first down. We moving the chains. And the object of the game is to get into the end zone. The object of the game or offense is to put the ball in the end zone and score points. I don't care how you get down the field. If you get down the field and you put the ball in the end zone, that's all I care about. Why is we critiquing where he throw the ball at and who he throw the ball to? Why is we doing that? If the man move the chains, I don't care who he throw it to. He can throw it to the water boy. If the water boy get 5 to 10 yards, we moving the chain. Who cares if he throw check downs? That mean wasn't nothing open. Get better receivers. Put them with the ones then. Appreciate you, Anthony. Big boy coming through. Now he can't win game. See, they coming in here now. That's what I'm saying. But what does it matter? You don't have to throw bombs down the field all the time. You ain't got to score like this all the time. You ain't got to score in 2 seconds and run your defense back out there. Then they get tired and then they giving up points and then you got to go scoop. You keep scoring 2 seconds. Defense ain't got no time to rest. Dillon Gabriel got put out the first round. We're the undefeated team. Exactly. That's the offense. I told y'all about them trolls. I told you. I told you they were going to come in. I told you. Whether it must be a Nebraska fan. Well, y'all ain't getting Arch Manning. Granddaddy gonna come out the woodwork and say, we not going to Cleveland. Yeah, like Dion did, but y'all gonna praise him. Colorado different. They didn't have an offensive line. So you gonna tell me you want your quarterback to throw you want your quarterback to sit back there, get sacked because you want to throw the ball down the field? Bruh, he ain't got no time to throw the ball down the field. So you gotta throw quick short routes to get the ball out of hand quick. They're ridiculous, man. Don't nobody know football. All these folks talking about football, but don't know football. Why I'm gonna have my quarterback sit back there to throw a deep pass when I have no offensive line and no run game? It's impossible. Because if I can't run the ball, guess what they're going to do? They're going to rush 2 bodies. They're going to rush 2 D linemen, drop everybody back in pass coverage. Because I done seen it. Then, them 2 linemen they rushing, one of them going to sack me because my line can't block. So, what you want the boy to do?
Understands that Shedeur Sanders is a gifted thrower of the football. He is a gifted distributor of the football. His ability to put the ball where he wants it is elite. And we said, I know I said this yesterday. I said, that's part of playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Then there's the whole other part where he needs a long on-ramp to get ready. And the people that can master everything pre- and post-snap, understand where to go with the ball, and then be the ones who are able to deliver it on. Those are the ones that are very successful in the league.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that can understand it, but they can't physically deliver it. And then there are some that can physically do everything, but they can't understand it. And those ones aren't as successful. So I don't know. Just when you say like freak show reporting, I don't think that you're going to get any more kind of like fair, unbiased, and quite frankly, informed reporting on what's going on, even though it's not reporting, it's more just statements, than right here.
There is nobody who knows more about what's happening in this football team and in this football organization than you do.
That gets to talk about it.
That gets to talk about it.
Yeah, fair.
That's it.
That's right.
So when we do scores, pay attention. If you want to know what's going on at the quarterbacks, pay attention. You mentioned something there. You said I'm a Browns employee. Correct. Here's the other part that comes with that. If you had an agenda here, and nobody here has an agenda on any one of these quarterbacks, we would want any one of these quarterbacks, whoever wins God bless.
Win.
That's it.
I want this team to win.
If you were going to...
Hey, I'm going to be honest. He the first one to say that. He want the team to win. He the first one I heard out of all these media people that around the Browns, he the first one I heard talking about he want to win. Ain't now one of they talking about how bad the schedule is, how hard the schedule is in the beginning. He the only one that done said he want to win, even though some of them other takes he done had on but I like that.
to have an agenda, and if that was something that was going to be filed under the term of freak show reporting, the agenda would be for Dillon Gabriel. He's the third-round pick. He was picked before Shedeur.
Correct.
So if there was good,
but that don't mean he better. Why they keep saying that? Just because you drafted in the first round, Kenny Pickett, don't mean you better. Just because Dillon Gabriel drafted in the third round and Shedeur drafted in the fifth round, that don't mean he better. Dillon Gabriel was not projected that first rounder. Shedeur was. It's a reason why. Yeah, where's the reason why Shedeur didn't get drafted in the third round? Because you emotionally attached? That's the reason why. Not because of your skill.
Could it be an angle for you to play? That would be the angle you would play. You would not be. What? We already have him. You're not trying to.
Right.
He's here.
Yeah. Oh, and you could say, well, you liked him more. I did like him more in my evaluation. But if you also pay,
I don't need none. Let him stay.
There was one place.
I'm getting paid off him too.
And maybe even nationally, where you heard Dillon Gabriel's name be mentioned for months leading up to the draft.
Yeah.
It was on this show.
It was on this show. Yeah. And you have to remember, too, when we were doing so much of the pre-draft analysis, it was with the idea of picking number 2.
1 or 2.
And it was the idea of we're picking either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. And so the breakdowns that we did, that you did from a video standpoint, were of those two guys. And I think you maybe
I did
Dart a little bit later, but that was all with the idea of we're picking at 2. Who is the quarterback that we have to have? Oh, if we trade down to 2 and it's Dart, what does that look like? And that was the consensus of everybody in the draft process.
And we knew it wasn't Milroe.
And we knew
to the show, you knew it was not Milroe.
It was not Milroe, and we knew that the league would have told you were not going to have to trade up for Milroe, that there was no issue.
I remember
we were very
reporting
adamant about
said
that.
after the Senior Bowl, you were probably going to go on the lead up to the Senior Bowl. You're probably going to have to trade. You have to take him
Go
at
get
2,
him,
or stay in the top 5 if you want Milroe.
No, and we're pretty on point with that.
Where's The Rock? Remember when The Rock was the Nation of Domination? That program. The eye roll program.
Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett getting traded.
Yeah.
Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospital's official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Jordan Hicks from the podium coming up next.
It don't matter, man. It don't matter what round you go. Like y'all saying, Tom Brady got drafted in the 7th round. But his career, he came 7th round, 7 rings. So that means I guess Shedeur going to get 5. I guess Shedeur going to get 5 rings. 5th round, 5 rings. Artie Man ain't did nothing yet. It's all hype off his name too. What his uncles did. Cause his daddy didn't make it. But it's all hype what his granddaddy and his uncle did. Cause he a Manning. That boy getting paid $6.8 million in college. Why would I come to the NFL right now when I can play 2 more years to be realistic and set my family up that I'm gonna have forever? Even though you already set up forever, but I'm just talking about his wife, kid, whatever he eventually have. I'm just saying, bro. Now listen to this Tony dude. Hey, take everything he say with a grain of salt. Y'all know he hates Shedeur. We've been on this live a good little minute.
6, last episode of the...
Y'all hit that like button, let's ride. Subscribe and share and tell your friend about the Money Man. You already know, boy. We finally hit 50K, bro. We finally hit 50K. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me this long, man. I appreciate y'all. All the super chats, I appreciate y'all, boy. Y'all going in my giveaway. I got that 50K giveaway still going on, man. One of y'all gonna win a Shedeur Sanders jersey. Be here for that live.
Browns OTAs are officially a wrap. They wrapped up yesterday, and we're on to mandatory minicamp next week. Tony, how are we feeling today?
I'm going to say it again. Take what Tony say with a grain of salt. We're going to watch a little bit of it.
Good. All is well. Ready to finish up next week, and then it's smooth sailing until training camp.
There we go. Cannot wait for that. Cannot wait for next week. Mandatory minicamp. Going to be a fun time. All right, Tony. With OTAs a wrap and mandatory minicamp on deck, like we said, I wanted to go through position of where things stand with each position group as we're going into mandatory minicamp and then into training camp. So we're going to do the quarterbacks last, of course. That's the biggest position. We talk about it every day. So we're going to do them last. Let's start with the running back group. Obviously, 2 new faces in the room, and then you have Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong.
I think we might see more of that this year than we ever have.
Yeah, and then I feel like Dylan Sampson's a guy we haven't really talked about.
In college, so I wouldn't discount him. But clearly, it's a new era at running back.
Yeah, love that. All right, wide receiver position. This is one we've talked. He's been out there. He's back. He had a few touchdowns last.
He's got to hold on to him. He dropped at least 5 interceptions last year.
And look, we all know locally how good Denzel Ward is, and he should be in these all-pro talks.
The order this early. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean. Okay, so it's Flacco.
There we go.
And how we talked about it every day, but where things stand, where are things going to go?
Okay, I think they're the same as where we started. And I don't think the Browns intended to change the order.
Where are the quarterback standings right now going into minicamp, and how we've talked about it every day, but where are things stand, where are things going to go?
Okay, I think they're the same as where we started. And I don't think the Browns intended to change the order this early. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, so it's Flacco, Pickett, or Pickett Flacco, however you want to look at it. And then Gabriel's clearly third in their mind, and Shedeur is clearly fourth. Now, whether or not anybody has earned a move up, the Browns have not moved anybody up. Maybe we'll see that at the beginning of training camp. I don't think we're going to see that at minicamp. I think this is the order you're going to see, and then they reassess and decide, okay, who's the better prospect for that backup job or whatever. I think Flacco is head and shoulders the starter, but that's still to be determined.
So, but you're saying that based on how you view it, right? But how do you think that Flacco's head and shoulders a starter based on how the Browns are viewing it right now?
No, I think he and Pickett are neck and neck, and sometimes Pickett takes the first snap, and sometimes it's Flacco. So they're clearly competing for the starting job. I think the two rookies are clearly competing.
He don't know that. He don't know that for sure. Yeah, they do.
For QB3 or possibly QB2 at best. But again, I don't think the Browns intended to change the order during the OTA season. So we won't be able to detect their opinion of things until probably training camp.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. We finally are going to get to see the full rotations day by day. That is what we were missing in OTAs.
3 days in a row. Yeah.
3 days in a row because we were going, they practiced, we didn't see it. We saw it, they practiced, we didn't see it. So now we're finally going to get to see the 3-day rotation.
Yeah, and again, it may not change over those 3 days. And that doesn't mean Shedeur's not having a good day or Dylan Gabriel's not having a good day. I'm pretty sure that it was a blanket. This is where it's going to be through OTAs and minicamp. And then we tinker with the placement.
There we go. All right. Well, Tony, love that. We went through the entire roster.
No, you didn't bring up special teams specialists. Let's do that real quick.
Nah, bro, this, I don't know, man. All I can say is, if the boy can't get no opportunity, then he ain't gonna have a chance to move up.
I don't even know where it went. I reserve the right to change my comment about potential. That was fine. I know what I'm about to do right here, though. I'm about to hit this as far as I can. Oh, damn. Oh, okay, shot. I don't even know where it went. I reserve the right to change my comment.
Ain't nobody, that's what I said. Ain't nobody showing their OTAs. I only found 2 clips of Cam Ward throwing to Calvin Ridley. That's it. Ain't nobody showing no full highlight. And you know the reason, because Shedeur getting all the hype.
Thank you.
Man, these the same video we watch. This dude here, bro.
Folks, listen, and the Shedeur Sanders drama continues. Folks, listen, you never want to overreact to, can we call it imaginary football in June? I mean, they're not playing with like real effort. It's just basic stuff. And the division that we're seeing is so, I mean, it's massive. The gulf of what you see people saying about Shedeur Sanders, you would think he's ready to start week 1. I mean, you see former NFL quarterbacks on social media breaking down every pass. Oh my gosh, look at the movement in the pocket. Look at that cannon. This is why Shedeur's the man. You see our very own Colin Cowherd, who, oh, by the way, is not even on this continent and is checking in on Shedeur Sanders OTAs. This is what Colin Cowherd put on social media yesterday. No reason to overwork a future Hall of Famer in OTAs. Let's get him some rest for week 1. Obviously, he's saying that in jest, but the whole overwork thing is because despite all the hype for Shedeur, he's the only quarterback on the Browns who wasn't playing with the ones. Kevin Stefanski said, you go over there and work with the backups and the guys who are, you know, off-season FedEx drivers, you know, who are trying to make an NFL roster. That's your speed, Shedeur. And the more that Kevin Stefanski does this, I think it empowers all the Shedeur guys who are putting on their capes. Say, why isn't he start? Why is Kenny Pickett getting reps over Shedeur? And Kevin Stefanski says he won a Super Bowl and was a first-round pick. You guys need to do some more homework.
You need to do some more homework. Kenny Pickett ain't win nothing. He was on the team, bro. They don't make you qualified better because you on a Super Bowl winning team. You won the starting quarterback. Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl. Kenny Pickett was on the team. This dude is ridiculous, man. These the type people I say that's on TV talking just stupid. Now, if you got a real take, because your take is horrible. If you got a real take against a player, then say it. But you saying this nonsense is ridiculous. How is you even on here? You talking about Callan Hurt. He was tweeting about Flacco. He wasn't even talking about Shedeur.
Homework before you crown Shedeur Sanders. And in the morning, you guys need to do some more homework before you crown Shedeur Sanders. And in the morning meeting today, you know, I'm going all in on Shedeur. I'm like, listen, he's not getting first-team reps. We need to pump the brakes. And somebody smart said, you know, Shedeur is like the latest iPhone that comes out, right? The new iPhone comes out. It's going to be amazing. It might even be legendary. And then you get the iPhone, and it's like, oh, this is cool. It's nothing special. It's not.
Then we comparing them to a materialistic thing. I don't know what this dude is, but that sounds a little, I don't like that. This my first time hearing this whole thing because I stopped it before. But if he's saying something like that, I don't even know how he's still on TV, bro. Don't nobody probably listen to him anyway, but I'm just saying.
That dramatically different. It's not going to change my life. And I wonder if that's where Shedeur is kind of trending. I mean, the guy's got be legendary as his motto. He's throwing really lavish NFL draft parties. And he's fourth on the depth chart decidedly.
And bro, I don't even know how they got keeping their ratings. No more. They're probably why they all TV like that.
And
they're ridiculous.
The more I'm around him, the more I like him. But I think he's capable of BSing on this side. I like Shedeur. The more I'm around him, the more I like him. But I think everyone's doing him a disservice, just like his dad did. When Coach Prime overhyped him, what did it lead to? And I think the local media, national media, are overhyping him right now. Okay? The Browns don't even think he's ready to play against their #1 defense.
Did they say that?
Well, he hasn't.
Tony, you've only seen 2 practices.
Well, I've seen Gabriel both times go
Okay.
against it.
Okay,
For
maybe
one
that's a
period.
question.
One period.
Maybe that'd be a good question for Kev to just go, Kevin, we've seen Dylan face the ones. Why is
Bro, I know you ain't trying to talk and compare Kenny Pickett one game with the Eagles as a starter to justify him winning a Super Bowl with them. Ain't no way you just did that, bro. Like, he ain't got no elite defense. Like, Kenny Pickett carried him and won that game by himself.
Garrett Shedeur is 5 of...
Bruh. They're ridiculous. What we leaked is the Giants actually have a tape. The Giants actually have a tape. Y'all gonna have to rewind my live. We talked about that in the beginning. We don't move past that. And what game he played in and started and won? These two? Dallas and Washington? That's it. They won against Dallas, but it looked like they was up 41-7, so he didn't start that game. So bruh lying. Bruh lying. What you want to see with Deshaun Watson? Ain't nothing to see. The same number Kenny Pickett got. It's the same number that Kenny Pickett.
Garrett Shedeur is 5 of 5. But now he's got a big 3rd and 8.
They always be in my life. They'll find me. Yup. What does it matter at Colorado? You got to include Jackson State in there too. Why you just got to say at Colorado? Put Jackson State in there. SWAC, 2-time SWAC champion. What became Ward record at his FCS school? Y'all don't want to do none of that.
The fields for some of the modified 7-on-7s, while the other 3 quarterbacks worked on the opposite field. So I kind of stopped there for a second. I said, wait a second here. This is a little interesting. Now, I posted this on social medias. June right now is definitely the month where people are going to read way too much into these OTA reports. But you know what? It's June. I've got an OTA report. So let's do it. Let's just go ahead and read way too much into this.
Too much into it.
Why the isolated practice reps for Shedeur Sanders? And this is where I would like to get more context around this stuff. You know, these beat reporters are at these things. They have access to this, insider information that we're not privy to. We're not there. We don't have eyes on the stuff. So why don't you guys, put it behind the paywall. Give us more freaking details. What was going on that separate practice field where Shedeur Sanders was taking all the 7-on-7s by himself, while on the other field, the other 3 quarterbacks split their 7-on-7 reps. Who were the defenders on Shedeur's field? Who were the coaches? Where was Tommy Reese? Where was Kevin Stefanski? Was Shedeur Sanders on that separate practice field by himself with Bill Musgrave, the quarterback coach? All these questions matter because, and Tommy Reese talked about this a lot in his interviews the other day. These college guys.
That was a good point right there. Everybody, that was a good point. Where were them coaches at? But I know, I seen it, and I heard that Andrew Berry and Kevin, they was on there looking at Shedeur and Gabriel. In one of these practices, they was only over there.
Operate primarily in the shotgun during their careers in college. So for a guy like Shedeur Sanders, who ran nothing but shotgun at Colorado, he needs as many reps as possible.
He had to. They couldn't block.
To transition from the college-style offense into this NFL style, where you're under center, where you're in college when you're running play action. You're in the shotgun, you're taking a snap, and you're usually doing, you know, a read option or an RPO. And that's kind of your play action passing. In the NFL, the play action is way different because you're under center. And then immediately at the snap, you drop back, and what's the first thing the quarterback does? They do something that they've never done in college. They turn their back to the defense. So it is a big adjustment for these guys. So is Shedeur Sanders getting individualized reps? And the thing is, like, if they're splitting to two fields to run these entire 7-on-7 sessions, and you got three quarterbacks splitting reps over here, Shedeur Sanders is taking every single rep.
I didn't get the point of his video. Well, them boy came back and won.
Some point this year, it'll be Shedeur.
That's what I think too.
It's going to be, it'll be, like, I think if things continue the trajectory in which they're going, Flacco will start the year, and at some point this year, it'll be Shedeur.
That's what I think too.
It's going to be, it'll be Shedeur.
I'll still say it'll be Flacco and then whichever rookie outperforms, but I do think there's a strong chance it is Shedeur.
Again, I'm not a size guy where you have to be the prototypical 6'5", 230-pound Phillip Rivers.
Because Shedeur's not either.
Because he's not. But even standing next to Gabriel, he looks like a more NFL player.
I will say
Dylan Gabriel is he's just a small person.
Shedeur does look the part. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the whole situation, and I keep saying the most realistic outcome is we're trying to figure out what quarterback we're taking next year. I mean, we're Browns fans. We know this. But there is definitely hope and optimism with Shedeur.
I'm not looking towards next year, man. I'm
not saying you should. I'm just saying.
I know what you mean, but I'm excited about both these guys.
I thought Shedeur is the best quarterback in this draft for Kevin Stefanski's system. Like I even said, if Cam Ward and Shedeur were both available at 2, I would have taken Shedeur still because I thought he fit Kevin Stefanski's system better. And I talked all the time about how fit is almost more important than talent sometimes. Like there are quarterbacks who aren't as talented as other quarterbacks, but they're in a better system, a la Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? They're in a better fit, in a better system that utilizes their skill set, and they're successful. I think Shedeur has a chance to I really think he has a chance to be the guy for us, like going forward. I think we won't have to draft a quarterback next year.
I think they're going to do it for me, man. I need to take a break. Yeah, they getting a little too out of hand. And then Gary will finally sign his contract. Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to do it. Man, I want to appreciate y'all for coming, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe and share. Tell your friend about the Money Man you already know. And we still doing it right here. I ain't changed the graphic though, but we still doing it. 50K giveaway, man. I finally done hit 50K subscribers, so I'm doing a giveaway. We giving away a Shedeur jersey. We giving away a Shedeur Sanders jersey to one lucky person. So I need y'all to subscribe and share and tell your friends about the Money Man you already man. No, like this video, man. Stay tuned. For when I do the giveaway live, I will be picking the winner live. I got to get it set up. I got to get it all set up. I got to enter all these names in there, and then I'm going to spin the wheel, and one lucky winner going to win the Shedeur jersey. You're going to have to DM me on Twitter, which y'all seen it right here, what I'm on, Instagram, or I'll put out my business email out there where you can email me your address and all your contact information if you do become the winner. So we doing it, man. And this ain't no joke. This ain't no lie. I done did giveaways before. I know a lot of y'all went here. My channel was just back growing. You know what I'm saying? But back when I was playing 2K, I did do a giveaway video. You can just type in on my channel, giveaway. It should pop up. But I ain't doing it like that. But I did do a giveaway, though. But, hey, we still doing it, man. We still doing it. We finally done hit 50K, boy. It's been a grind. And I'm telling you, boy, I appreciate y'all, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Boy, been in the gym, ain't he? I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all.
prime to the pros, I was built for this. Now I'm running the dog pound, can't miss. They said I fold, now I'm throwing like 6. Browns got the future, I came with a gift. Pocket so calm, heart full of fight. Vision on gold, wrist full of ice. Number 12 on the jersey, but never in rank. Put the city on my back like gas in the tank.
QB1 in the land, now we up. She ain't cold, but the kid too tough. She with the dead, playing each play. Browns got the truth, believe what I say. Perfect timing. Dog pound. Every snap, every drive, it's precision and grace. I ain't come to play safe, I came to replace. Talk that talk, but my game too loud. Turn up the dog pound, make prime proud. Legacy rich, but I double the grind. Diamonds on time, still humble in mind. They ain't ready for the QB with swag. With a gold AP and a Cleveland flag. QB1 in the land, now we up. Sleeling cold, but the kid too tough. Shade you with the dares, blazing each play. Hey, Ross got the truth, believe what I say. From bolder nights to NFL dreams, now I'm leading men, not just teams. They tried to doubt, tried to shade, tried to run me out. Now they chant my name in the dog pound, call QB1 in the land, gold cleats on grass. But never fold, never fake, just built to last. Watch the throne, I ain't ask, I just grab. The shady you're in Cleveland, welcome to the flag. From prime to the pros, I was built for this. Now I'm running the dog pound, can't miss. They said I fold, now I'm throwing like 6. Browns got the future, I came with a gift. Pocket so calm, heart full of fight. Vision on gold, wrist full of ice. Number 12 on the jersey, but never in rank. Put the city on my back like gas in the tank. QB1 in the land, now we up. She ain't cold, but the kid too tough. She with the dead, playing each play. Browns got the truth, believe what I say. Perfect timing. Dog pound. Every snap, every drive, it's precision and grace. I ain't come to play safe, I came to replace. Talk that talk, but my game too loud. Turn up the dog pound, make prime proud. Legacy rich, but I double the grind. Diamonds on time, still humble in mind. They ain't ready for the QB with swag. With a gold AP and a Cleveland flag. QB1 in the land, now we up. Sleeling cold, but the kid too tough. Shade you with the dares, blazing each play. Hey, Ross got the truth, believe what I say. From bolder nights to NFL dreams, now I'm leading men, not just teams. They tried to doubt, tried to shade, tried to run me out. Now they chant my name in the dog pound, call QB1 in the land, gold cleats on grass. But never fold, never fake, just built to last. Watch the throne, I ain't ask, I just grab. The shady you're in Cleveland, welcome to the flag.
Grind to the pros, I was built for this. Now I'm running the dog pound, can't miss. They said I fold, now I'm throwing like 6. Browns got the future, I came with a gift. Pocket so calm, heart full of fight. Vision on gold, wrist full of ice. Number 12 on the jersey, but never in rank. Put the city on my back like gas in the tank.
QB1 in the land, now we up. She ain't cold, but the kid too tough. She with the dance, playing each play. Browns got the truth, believe what I say. Perfect timing. Dog pound.
Every snap, every drive, it's precision and grace. I ain't come to play safe, I came to replace. Talk that talk, but my game too loud. Turn up the dog pound, make prime proud. Legacy rich, but I double the grind. Diamonds on time, still humble in mind. They ain't ready for the QB with swag, with a gold AP and a Cleveland flag.
QB1 in the land, now we up. Feeling cold, but the kid too tough. Shade you with the dance, blazing each play. Hey, Ross got the truth, believe what I say.
From bolder nights to NFL dreams, now I'm leading men, not just teams. They tried to doubt, tried to shade, tried to run me out. Now they chant my name in the dog pound.